Hey everyone, this is Sandip back with another video. And today's video, we are going to continue building our portfolio website. So this is part 2 of the portfolio website video. I already did basic setup of this project in the part 1 of the video. The link is in the description. So if you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and watch that video, then come back to this video so that it will be easy to follow along, because this portfolio website I'm going to build step by step into different parts. So without wasting time, let's jump into the code and let's start coding. So in the first part of the video, we have actually created the basic structure, basic HTML and CSS. If you see here, right, I've created the index.html file and the CSS file. We'll continue to build. So I'm going to start with CSS first. So in this part of the video, I'm actually going to create the sidebar navigation. So if I go back here, right, if you see here, right, I'm just showing my name and some paragraph here. I'm going to create a sidebar navigation, a box, some kind of a box here, a long box where I'm going to put my logo, or I'm going to use my image for that. And then there will be some of the social links which I'm going to put here. So you'll see the output at the end of the video. So let's get started coding. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I need to put some more reset here, which I wanted to do in the last part of the video. It's okay. So I'm going to put some reset for my before pseudo element and after pseudo element. So this is called as pseudo element after, and actually I want to have this bracket here. See, okay, so before we're going to use a lot of pseudo elements that will come in the next part of the video. So that's why I'm putting before and after also, and I don't want to have any margin or padding into my pseudo elements, and box sizing is border box, obviously. And I'm going to replace this body with something called a root. The root is nothing but this is more of pointing to the HTML element of HTML file, and font size I'm going to keep it here, that's 10 pixel. First, I'm going to create some colors. So for some of the colors, I'm going to create some of the variables, and those variables I'm going to create so that we can reuse them throughout our website. And I can tell you what are the advantages of variable later on as we move along with the video. So how to create a variable? This is a really great feature in CSS. Now we don't need to use any third-party CSS library like SCSS or LS. We can create variables directly inside our CSS file. How we can do that? You just need to follow the convention. So this is naming a variable, right? So you need to use this hyphen, double hyphen, and I'm going to create different colors for my site, right? So there will be like combination of colors which I'm going to use so that to make the portfolio website look beautiful. So I'm going to create some colors, like first one will be the primary color, and I need some values, right? To create this color. So I'm going to open my Chrome, and I'm going to take help of Google. So I'm going to find some color palettes. You can click on this link, the first link only. This is a really great site, Color Hunt. So I'm not expert in colors. I'm not a designer. I'm more of a developer with some design sense, I would say. And I'm going to use this color basically. So I like this color, or maybe I'll go with some other color. Let me see if I get something. I need some contrasting colors also. That's what I'm looking for. So maybe I can use this. Which color palette? So you can pick any color palette, whichever you like, right? That's not a problem. So maybe let's go ahead with this color palette. We have different colors here. So we have some contrasting color. So this can become our primary color probably. And this pink color also we can use in some of the areas. Maybe I'll go with a popular one. Let's go with a popular one. Okay, I got it. Actually, this one I liked more. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, so this will be my primary color. So I'm going to just copy this one from here and I'll paste it here. So I need to use hash, and then this is my primary color. Let's create more colors. The second one will be secondary color. And which color should I make as a secondary color? So this is my primary. I need to have some contrast. So maybe I'll go with this one. This one will be my secondary color. I'm going to create secondary color, but the modified version of it. So I'm using that M as a convention, right? To tell me like this is similar to secondary color, but it's a modified version of it. So I'm going to copy this one and paste it here. And I'm going to modify this color here only. So this is same color, but I'm going to put some transparency into it. So I'll just drop it here. See that? So this is the same color, secondary color, but the modified version has some transparency. So when I'm going to apply this color to any HTML element, it's going to have some transparency. Next, okay, I did some typo here, secondary color. Next one will be going with tertiary color, and for tertiary one, I'm going to use this color. So more of a light color. So let's use this color. And I'm going to create the modified version of my tertiary color also. So I'm going to use same strategy here. Just select this color picker and drop it down. This transparency value. Cool. So I think I have my colors created. I have the primary one, secondary one, and secondary modified, tertiary one, and tertiary modified. So I'm going with basic 5 colors. You can have 5 different colors also. I mean, it depends. And I'm going to tell you, this is the beauty of creating variables. Later on, if I don't like the theme or the colors of my website or application, I can change this palette. I just need to do these changes around these variables, and you will see the site is going to look different, and we'll try to do that. Okay, so I have my colors in place. I don't need this H1 and paragraph, but I definitely need this font family. So I'm going to put my body tag and I'm going to say display flex. Or maybe I'll come back to this later on. But for now, I'm just going to copy this font family and put it here. And I'll remove this H1 and paragraph. Let's remove this also. Okay, so let's build the HTML structure for the sidebar and navigation, which I'm going to create inside this video. So I'm going to start with a semantic HTML. So I'm going to use aside element. Let's give it a class name of sidebar. We'll go, the naming convention I'm going to use should be really easy to understand. So this is my sidebar nav. So I'm going to call it sidebar nav, sidebar navigation. Inside that, I'm going to put different div elements. So first div will be my container div. Okay. So here I'm using this emit syntax. So first div will be my container div. And so inside my sidebar nav, I'm going to have a container. What that container will be? That container will be, just a small box here. I'm just creating that. And inside that, I'm going to have 2 different elements. The first one will be my logo. Okay, so I'm going to give it a class of logo. And I am just going to put one image inside it. And for the timing, I'm just going to name it Sandip logo. And I'm going to put my image here actually. And the source, for the source property, we need those images, right? So I'm going to create a new folder called images. And I'm going to put that image here. So I need to find that image. And I know that image is there somewhere here. So I'm just going to, okay, that folder is here, but I need to go back to, okay, so I have that image here. I'm going to copy this from here and I'm going to paste inside my images. Let's see if it works. It doesn't work. So actually I need to go inside the folder where I have created this project. So I need to go into this one, and here I'm going to paste it. I need to move it to images actually. Images. Okay. So I have my image here. Now I'm going to use this image. So I just need to use, so you see here, right, inside the images folder. So that will be images slash, I have one image only inside that. So this is my logo. The next part, so I'm creating different boxes here, and we will follow that box analogy here inside, so that that will make our life easier to write the CSS part. So this will be like, I have one container box, this is my container, and I have created one more wrapper, a semantic wrapper aside. I'm going to use that also just to stick my navigation on the left hand side. So this is a container. Inside container, I'm going to have two different box element. One will be my logo or my image, and second container which I'm going to create is called social links. So there will be like social links which I'm going to put inside this. And those social links, I don't need to wrap into a div. I'm going to use ULI only, because UL is also a container element. And inside that, I'm going to put some LIs. So I'm going to put, say, how many? I'll go with 4 LIs, and inside those LIs I'm going to have the anchor tag with href is equals to, maybe I'll go with hash and enter. See that I got 4 different links created here, and inside these links I'm not going to put text. I'm going to use some icons, some social icons. So let's save the file, and for that we will go to Google, and we're going to search the very popular library for icons. So if you search for icons, you'll get that site only. So we are going to use Font Awesome. So I'm going to search for, or you search along with me, Font Awesome CDN. It's going to give you this link, CDN. Just click on that, and somewhere you are going to have that link. So just copy this one. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I need to copy it properly. Okay, so maybe I'll drag it till here. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and I'll go back to my index.css, not this one, index.html, and I'm going to paste it just before my own style sheet. Save. Now I have the icons. Okay, this is a magic trick. You just need to put the CDN link, and you have all the font icons available to you. So we'll just click on explore the icons. So I'm going to put some icons, social media icons. I'm going to search for those icons. The first one will be LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, I got the LinkedIn icon here. Let me try this one. And just click on this. It is copied, and just paste it here. And just have a testing, whether it is working or not. Okay, so I see the icon here, but I don't know why the font is different. What font I have used here? Oswald sans serif. Showing in some kind of different font. I'll check that later. Okay, so I have my first icon created, that is LinkedIn icon. Second, I'll go with the Instagram icon. So I need to search for the Instagram icon. Again, I'm going to search for Instagram. I'm going to use this one. Let's copy, go back to our code, paste. I got the Instagram one. If I save and refresh, you see the Instagram one, right? Next will be, next I need, maybe I'll go with Twitter. Twitter. Which one? This one. Copy, paste, save, check. Yes, it is working. Next and the last one which I'm going to use is Facebook, and I'll go with this one. Paste. Go back to our application. So we have the icons in place. Okay, so I'm going to close this one. So we have our icons. I mean, I would say the basic HTML structure, the HTML structure which is needed for the sidebar navigation is ready. So I have used aside, inside that I have a container, then I have a logo, which is an image, right? Then I have the UL and ally tags, and this is the output. And this is not the expected output. I want to create a sidebar navigation, a small navigation basically. So, and to beautify this, to make it beautiful, we are going to use a beautiful language. I really like it, the CSS. So we will jump into CSS straight away. I have my colors in place. I have my basic styles here. I'm going to use give some line height also here. Maybe some default line height of 1.8. We are going to start, okay, with that's the line height I would prefer. And as I said, first of all, I'm going to start with display flex to my body element. So my entire body, I've given it display of flex. So my body container now has become a flexible container. Why? Because I want to keep my navigation, that sidebar navigation here on the left hand side, and the other content will go on the right hand side. So I want to have that simple display flex. So once you say display flex, basically your layout changes into something called a flexible layout, and we are going to learn that. So just go along with me, code along with me. So make it display flex. Now we'll start. So these are some, I really like to put some comments also. So I'm going to put some comments here. So these are all my variables. So let's put that. I'm going to copy this format from here. And I'm going to put it. What did I do? Okay, so this will be my sidebar nav. I'm just going to name it like that. So first of all, I'm going to target this sidebar nav. Just copy it from here and dot paste it here. So this position, I'm going to give it a position of sticky, and I'll come back to it. Okay, just follow along with me. Top will be 0 and left will be 0. So I want to stick my sidebar navigation on the left hand side, top left hand side basically. And so I have my basic like top left, and I'm going to give it a height of say 100 VH. Now what is the meaning of this VH? It's like, think like your entire document is divided into different 100 parts basically. So if I take height, right? So this is my height, right? So entire height is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 parts. So I'm saying take the entire, so this aside, I'm asking this aside to take the entire height of my viewport. So this V is basically the meaning of this view. V is a viewport and heights, entire height. So if say suppose now look at here, right? When I go to this aside, right? It's taking the entire height of my viewport. Maybe I'll try to make it 50 VH and we'll see what happens, right? If I hover on aside, see that? It's taking the 50% of my viewport or 50 parts, because we're basically dividing our viewport into equal parts, right? That's what happening here, right? So I'm going to use 100 VH because I want to give it the full height. And now let's move on and target the, so we have the aside, right? Inside aside, I have my container, right? So I'm going to target the container, and for that, I'm going to be very specific. So this one first, and after that, I'm going to write container. And this container is again going to have a display flex. So what it's going to do, it's going to, it has converted, right? You see here, right? So as the container has become flex now, and the default flex direction of my items. So whatever we have, right? So I'm going to tell you, right? So this container is a flexible container now. So this div and this UL will become its items, flex items. And by default, flex items align in a horizontal way, row fashion. That's what we call the flex direction. So I'm going to change the directions. I'm going to use a property called flex direction and I'm going to change it to column. And once I do that, come back. See that? You're back to basics, right? Because I want the vertical alignment of my image and my icons. So this looks good. I have the flex direction of column. Now let's target this image. Let's go one by one. Let's target this image first and then we'll tackle other things one by one. So this image size, it's not looking the way I want. So I'm going to first of all, give my container some width, or maybe I'll give the width to image only, and or maybe I'll start with the background color. That's a good idea. So let's go ahead and give this container some background color first. So background color, and I'm going to use, now I have created the variables, right? As I told you, this primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, right? I'm going to use those variables here. So, and to use the variables, you use var. This is a function, and I want to use primary color as a background color for my sidebar nav. See that? Right? So we have this color, but the image size is big. So I'll target the social links, sorry, the image. So container logo image. So let's target that. Container dot logo. Inside that I have the image, and let's give some width. And here also I'm going to use some calculated values. So calc is a function which I'm using, and I'm going to use 3 viewport width plus 3 viewport height. So basically I'm making the width of my container, my image, to take the, if, as I told you, right, my viewport is divided into 100 equal parts. So I'm taking 3 parts here and 3 parts here. So 3 part of the width, 3 parts of the height, and that's going to give me some width, and this is how it's going to look like, right? So now the things are forming, right? So I have my image here on the top left hand side. If I hover on a side, this is taking 100% of height, right? Then I have the container, but my container is not taking the entire height. So let's go ahead and give it some height to my container also. So let's give it height of 100%. So it's going to take the height of the container. No, I want to give height not to my image, actually my container right here. So this container is going to take the height of the sidebar nav because it has a height of 100 VH. See that? And next, actually, I want to push these icons, at the bottom somewhere here. And to do that, so I have this container, right? Inside that I have this logo and I have these social links. Okay. So I'm going to convert my social links also into something called a flex container. So let's target inside my container the another element that will be social. I'm going to copy and paste just to avoid any mistakes. So just copy this one from here and paste it here. So I'm going to target social links, give it a display of flex, and maybe I need to give it a height also. Let's try that. I'm going to give it a height of 100%. And now if I go back, see that by default it's a row, and I need to change the flex direction also. Flex direction of column. So that will give me in the column fashion. So if I hover on this UL, right, it's taking the entire height. I'm going to push my icons at the bottom of this sidebar nav. And to do that, I'm going to use flex. I'm going to use justify. So justify content, push your or align your items on the main axis. Now in case of column, in case of when the flex direction is column, my main axis is vertical. Okay, so justify content, and I would push my content to the flex end basically. So let's see that in action. See that? Those icons have came just at the bottom because I pushed them below at the bottom of the page, right? And so this is about main axis. So justify content, align items on the main axis. Now I want to bring my icons in the middle also, right? So they are not in the middle. So for that, I'm going to use align items, and align items aligns items across the cross axis. So there is a main axis. In case of column, the main axis is a vertical axis. So cross axis is opposite of main axis. So that will be horizontal in this case. So I'm going to just align to the center. See that? They are at the center, and these dots, where are they coming from, right? They are coming from this UL and li. So I'm going to target my UL. So I have my social links, and that's my UL only. So I just so list style I'm going to put as none. See that? They are gone. Now the next thing we need to do is list style none. We got it right. Let's increase the font size of our icons, right? So I need to target my social links, and inside my social links I have these icons, right? Inside the anchor tag. So I'm going to say AI, and let's say font size of, and again I'm going to use the calculated values here. So I'm going to start with, maybe I'll go with 2rem plus 0, or maybe I'll go with 1 viewport width. So again, I'm using the calculated values because this portfolio website is going to be responsive. It's going to work in mobile also, right? So that's why I'm using this calculated values, and I'm going to show you like how it works actually. So everywhere, I'll try to use this calculated values. So basically, what will be the size? 2rem. What is the meaning of 2rem here? Okay. So as I said, I have given the body my HTML element, the root element font size of 62.5. That is nothing but 10 pixel. So 2rem is nothing but 2 into 10. So it is going to get a font size of 20 pixel plus 1 viewport height. So whatever is the size of my viewport in whichever device, right? It's going to take the one part of it, and it is going to add into that 20 pixel. So now if I go back, see, my icons are looking big, right? And they're looking better. I'm going to give them some color because I can't see them. Wow, now they are looking nice. And I don't know why they're coming in italic. So let's find out. Okay, I'm going to fix it later. So the color is white, their center line. And if I go here, and I see the nice spacing also between them, right? So we have a beautiful spacing also, I would say. That is looking good. All our LIs are looking good. My image is looking good. So I wanted to cover the part which I was talking about. So maybe like this. Okay. Now when I resize, just look at the sidebar, right? Look at the width of it. See, its width is reducing. Even my icons font is also reducing, right? And somewhere, as they are not straight, I don't know why they are not looking good. So I need to fix this part first. So I'm going to look for the solution why it is in italic. Okay, so I got the solution for my icons. I was not referring to the right class name. So I just need to change it to this to fab somehow. I don't know what is fab, why they needed fab. So I'm just going to change it to fab. I'm going to save. And now if I go back, see, they're looking beautiful, right? But the spacing is looking awkward, right? So I need to change that spacing. So I'm going to put some margin. I'm going to give some margin to my links basically. So let me give some margin. So whether I'm going to give it to icons or I'll go ahead with my list items. I'm going to give them the margin bottom of, maybe I'll go with 1rem for now. Let's see how it looks. 1rem is not coming. Let's go with a 2rem. Yet the margin is not coming actually in the social links. Let me see why it is not coming. Let me try to use some calculated values here also. I'm going to use 2 rem plus, maybe I'll go with 1 viewport width, or let's go with height value this time. Viewport width only I'm going to use. So viewport width, some calculated value. The margin is not coming. Let's put. Okay, I'm putting the margin on the UL element. I need to put it on the LI elements actually. So maybe I'll try this, not here, but here on the icons. Okay, so it's looking much better now. Okay, so I have the icons in place. I'm going to put some hover action on these icons. When I'm going to hover on it, I want to just change some color. So let's do that. For that purpose, I'm going to use some styles. So there will be something called hover, and there will be another one which is called active. Hover and active, these two things I'm planning to use. Just checking my syntax. So I'm going to use active. So when I'm going to hover on those icons, I want to change their color, and active is used for mobile. So when I tap on those icons, that color is going to change. So I'll change the color to, I'm going to use again variables, and this time I'm going to use my secondary color, but the modified version. Let's see this in action. So I'm going to hover. See that? These icons are changing the colors now, but the color changes are really fast, right? I want to make it subtle. So to do that, I'm going to use some transitions on the color property. So color transition will be for 3 seconds. So I'm going to put transition on color for 3 seconds, and let's use some cubic bezier function also. Maybe I'll go with this one. Let's try. You can try different random versions of this cubic bezier actually, and let's see how it works. See that I think it's not coming the way I want, so maybe I'll try to use some other function. Let's go with 6452686. Which one was better? I'm just trying to remember. I think this one. Let's try this. So I put the transition on the color property for 3 seconds, and I've used this cubic bezier function. See that? It's coming really slowly actually, because I made it for 3 seconds. Let's put it for 0.3 seconds. Now it is looking much better. Otherwise it was taking a lot of time. Okay, so let's check once again. So we have created, if you are coding along with me, we have created a sidebar navigation, this beautiful sidebar navigation with an image, or you can put your logo there, and some social links, and some animation, some color animation also. So first of all, I've created the HTML structure. You see here, I'm using the semantic HTML. I have the container, then I've created logo, then the social links, and then we moved on and we created a really nice sidebar navigation CSS, right? We have written a lot of CSS. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to end this video here. So I highly suggest you code along, you practice this. I'm going to come back in the next part of the video where we will build our portfolio website. We'll focus on the right hand side. We have the sidebar navigation. Probably in the next part of the video, I'll come up with the main navigation. So we're going to put the main navigation for our application. Then we'll keep on building the other sections of the app, like about me section. There will be some project section. I haven't made any decided anything as of now, as I'm building this portfolio website. So I'm going to stop here. Until then, you take care. Goodbye.